Alright guys, we got a 2016 Ford F-150 XLT. We're going to be putting a inner tie rod on. The inner tie rod is this one right here. Outer tie rod, inner tie rod. And we're just going to go through the steps on doing that. So right now I've got the vehicle up, got the tire off, and let me get the camera set up and we'll get started. Okay, so here we are. I've got the vehicle jacked up, got a jack stand underneath it over there, and I've got the wheel turned to the right. It just gives me more room, you know, to get around here. Before I do anything on the inner tie rods, I like to make sure that the new tie rod is going to match up to the old one before I bust everything loose and get everything out of adjustment. So this tie rod, I don't know if you can see the play in it. Let me zoom in. I don't know if you can see that movement, but that's the inner tie rod, not the outer. So that's why this is being replaced. So what I like to do, now Ford's just got these quick little clamps right there for this end of the boot. For the other end is a I don't know if you're going to be how well you're going to be able to see. See if I can bring you in different angle here. There we go. These clamps right here are not reusable. Now a lot of people use a zip tie, which is perfectly fine. There's that clamp right there. These are not reusable. Now at this point, we're just going to pull that back like that, and we're going to take this tie rod here. And that does look, that looks like it. This is an aftermarket tie rod, so I don't know if this thing here is supposed to, there we go. There's the flats right there. So at this point, I'm going to bust the outer tie rod loose, 21 millimeter. Now before I pop it out of the knuckle, you want to bust this nut right here loose, and it is 15/16. Before you make any adjustments, we want to measure to a known good spot, because I want to put the new one as close as I can to where this one's set. This is obviously what adjusts your toe, and I think the way I'm going to do that, so if you look at the inner tie rod, whenever this is screwed all the way in, it butts up against this surface here, up against the rack. So whenever this is going to be screwed in, this is going to be a good reference to go off of, is this edge right here, because this tie rod is going to be, this surface here is going to be in the same exact position that the old tie rod's at. And then there's a nice flat surface right here. That would be a good surface to go to. So if I hook right here, come over here with a tape measure, get an accurate reading, and we go back to that same measurement, it should be pretty close. The only way to get it perfect is you got to put it on an alignment machine. So at this point I'm going to put the wheels back straight. it out of the way. So I'm just going to hook right there. I'm going to come down to this flat spot right there. Take a look to see where we're at. I'm going to probably have to get in the way. Nine and 11/16. So I'm just going to write that right there on the knuckle. So 9 and 11/16 is where that's at. And the reason I put the wheel straight, this measurement and this measurement is not going to change whenever you turn the wheel, but you can see that it's at an angle now. And trying to hook that flat spot right there and come over here and get an accurate reading would be a little different, or a little challenging. Okay, so this nut's loose. I'm going to smack the knuckle right here to pop this ball joint up. And depending on where you're at in the country or how many miles you've got on a vehicle, if these threads are all boogered up, not boogered up, but these threads are all crusty, clean them up so that you can spin this off, because the inner tie rod will spin, and sometimes it can just make it a pain unscrewing these. I don't know if you can see that obviously the inner tie rod is able to spin, and you don't want a tie rod spinning when you're trying to undo the outer tie rod and you're trying to hold the inner with a pair of pliers or whatever. And anyway, now we got to do, you can get a big wrench on that as long as you've got access. Here, whenever we've got the wheel turned all the way this way, this does bring this out enough to where I could probably get a wrench on that. Get that jack out of my way. And there you have it. Does look like that collar will fit this aftermarket one too. So I didn't want to leave that collar on there. If it didn't fit the flats, I was going to take that collar off. It's already pre-greased. You can see the grease sticking out of it. And there's a spot, let me show you that. This little ridge right here, that's where the boot wants to be. Now I've got some of these, so I'm going to go pick one out that is going to be the right size. Now I'm going to try to put this on, but to be honest, in fact, let me take this off. It's restricted access underneath the truck there. So depending on how easy it's going to be to actually put this on, I may just go ahead and do the zip tie method. And all I'm doing here is just kind of getting it pre-adjusted. That way whenever I... Now if you do use this, if you got clamps like this, you've got to have a pair of actual pliers that are made to crimp this. So what I'm going to have to do is get in there with those pliers and pinch this, and it pulls it together. Pinches that, pulls it together, and then it smashes that down all at the same time. Okay, so we're good there. We need our clamp right here. We can go ahead and put... I may wait on that. That way it'd be easier for me to pull it and hook it right there. And to eyeball it, I'm just going to get about the same amount of threads coming out of the tie rod here. I think it's probably a little bit closer there. I just need to come back that way, don't I? That looks pretty darn close right there. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and slap this on, and the only thing that's going to leave is just getting the boot. Okay. Found a rod. Now, unfortunately, I can't really get the camera down here to show you guys this. So basically what happens, you pinch it, these two jaws pinches it together to suck it up tight, and then this here goes in and then smashes it. And that's all there is to that. And you're done. No more play in it at all. I don't think you saw me get in here with the needle nose, but anyway, this is done. It's just a matter of putting the tire back on, and then I got to do a brake booster. Inner tie rod, 2016 Ford F-150. This is a four-wheel drive version. Two-wheel drive is going to be the same thing. So you guys take care. And I do want to tell you that you do need to have your front end aligned after you do whether inner or outer tie rod. If it's out just a little bit, in fact, I don't know if you saw just how little play this tie rod has, and the inner tread on this tire is wearing pretty good, and it's because as he's driving, that tire's, you know, being kicked out just ever so slightly because of that small amount of wear, and it's causing the tire to prematurely wear on the inboard side right here. So that's how little out of alignment it needs to be to cause tire wear. The only way to get it perfect is to take it to an alignment shop, have them actually do a true alignment on it. So whether you do an inner or an outer tie rod, take it in. The reason you want to get it as close as possible, because a lot of people will drive it, you know, if you don't have time to get it to the alignment shop right then after you do it, you know, a lot of people will drive to work and back a couple times so they get to their weekend and then they take it to the shop. And you want as little wear as possible during those miles of driving it. So get it as close as you can, but then as soon as possible get it to the alignment shop. Okay, you guys take care.